Hi, welcome to Freyja North. Just wanted to discuss about referencing and the companies that we use for referencing. So what we actually do and what we do prefer to use is a third-party contractor for all our referencing and tenancy agreements, and we use Goodlord, who are linked in with Vouch. So the way that we do it, this is for tenants and landlords to understand the reasons why we use these referencing systems. The way that we do it is we use Goodlord because they can supply a up-to-date regulated tenancy agreement, which means that we're not having to check the regulations and make sure that everything's up to date, because we're just so busy, we haven't got time to do that. And it's really important that we make sure that we are up to date with legislation. So we use Goodlord for that service. And as I said, they're linked to Vouch, and Vouch carry out the reference checks for us. So the way it works is when a tenant applies for a property through Freyja North Limited, what they initially do is do a quick simple form through Goodlord link, which is sent to them by email. It asks them questions such as when they're looking to move into the property, if they have a date in mind, who's going to be moving into the property with them, what rent they're looking to pay, do they have any pets, are they employed, and how are they going to provide their employment references and other documents such as bank statements, credit checks. So it's just a basic overall background check with no actual credit history check at that point, because what can happen is, especially at the moment, we can have 5 to 10 couples coming to look at a property. So what we don't want to do is fully reference check them at that point, because they might be unsuccessful. So initially we do the pre-reference checks, and that will then send us a form back, which will give us the basic information that we need. We can then collate that information, have a look over it. We've also met the prospective tenants at the properties as well and had a chat with them and got to know them. And then we give this documentation to the landlords to have a look over. Of course, we do advise on who we should move forward with and what application we think is best suited to that property. If the tenant is then successful and the landlord's happy and we're happy to move ahead, they will then be notified in writing from ourselves that they have been accepted to move forward with reference checking, and we will then let other applicants know that they have been unsuccessful. However, we won't just cut it off there. We will offer them other properties, and we will let them know if there are other properties coming available that may be suited to them. So they're not feeling like they're just getting fobbed off, basically. So what happens then with Goodlord, we use a link to put in all of the tenancy information, because we'll have gathered the information. For example, if they want to move in the 1st September this year, we have that information. We have the email addresses, phone numbers. We've got that in the basic information that we've already requested. We then send another link, which then comes from Goodlord and Vouch, and that will then ask the tenants to sign up to be reference checked for that property. In essence, they are committing themselves to take this property on the date that they've said. And then they will need to start filling out all of their details. So their employment details, their identification, so passport, driver's license, bank statements, and it's going to go through a whole spectrum of documents that are going to need to be uploaded so that we can make sure they're fully referenced. If we notice within a couple of days that some of the documents haven't been provided, the ones that tend to take the longest are the employer's references, because everyone's really busy and getting your employer to send a reference back can take some time. We do send prompt reminders, and Voucher's really good for that as well, just to notify you that, hey, look, this is outstanding, you need to follow that up. And it just means as well that we can keep our landlords up to date and the tenants to say, you know, this is what we're chasing, and also to the tenant or applicant, can you chase this up for us because you are looking to move in soon. Once all those checks have been done with Vouch, it then lets us go back to Goodlord, which it's linked to, and lets us produce the tenancy agreement for the tenant. Now, we typically get the tenants to sign the tenancy agreement just a day before or on the day that they're moving into the property. The reason for that is when they're signing the tenancy agreement, they're also paying the first month's rent in advance, and they're also paying the deposit. Now, if you've taken a property on the 1st of August and you're not moving until September, you're not really going to want to sign the tenancy agreement the 1st of August, because you probably don't get paid until the time that you're looking to move in. So we make sure that between that void period, all the reference checks are done, everything's come back. If for any reason that the tenant fails any part of the credit check, i.e. Has any defaults or CCJs, this will be discussed with the landlord, and we would certainly be asking the tenant to get a homeowner guarantor, and then they would need to sign some documents to say that they're happy to do that, and we'll also get written confirmation from the landlord. So the really good thing about our services, unlike other agencies, we don't just move people in who we see fit. We always discuss with the landlord who they are looking to move into the property. We don't reference check everybody fully because it costs money to do that, and it will cost you more money as a landlord to cover those costs for administration and running the credit checks. So we pre-reference check everybody, and then once you're happy, we fully reference check everybody, get them to sign the documents, pay the rent and deposit before they move in, check their identification. We actually check that on the time of the reference check-in, and then we also check it again at the property when we move them in. They don't come to the office to collect the keys. We actually like to meet them there, show them around the house again, make sure that they're happy with everything, give them a bottle of wine or hamper gift. If that's something that you would be interested in purchasing for your new tenant, we can do that, and just give them that extra special treatment and make sure that they are happy when they move in. If you have any questions about our rental procedure or how we go about things at Freyja North, give us a call, 0151 212 3255.